Hey there YouTube, TCKyewbs here. Today I have a quick trade unboxing from TCKyewbs. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so as I said, this is actually a trade with TCKyewbs here on YouTube. I give her some cubes, and then she traded these for them. There should be 5 cubes in here. I also have a little bonus unboxing. But this, like I said, is going to be 5 cubes, and then I should have another one coming here in a couple days, which I might do a separate unboxing on that or something else. This knife is super dull, but let's get right into it here. Have my other camera going here with the manual focus, so we're going to have to see how that's going to work. But let's just get right into the package. Seems to be a nice ball mailer, and there are the cubes, if I dump them right out of there. And as you can see, first impressions, we have a Z cube, glow in the dark. We have an Oolong version 2. A Thunderclap V1. This is the Chi 6x6. I have to actually look up the exact thing. Is that Wuhua or Wuhua? There it is right there on the front. My pronunciation is going to be horrible on that. And then we also have a new plastic Diane Zanchi, which that actually has an interesting color scheme on there. So let's just quickly zoom in and get individual impressions on each of these cubes. Okay, so pardon any background noise if there is any, but I'm just going to try and film the rest of this here without any issues. Let's get my computer back on there, kind of as a light. First off here, we have a new plastic Diane 2x2. That's an interesting cube that I really have never had before, is a Diane 2x2. I know obviously the old plastic ones are super desirable, and those are the ones to get. But it will be interesting to have a new plastic one. I noticed we have a set of stickers here. I think it's just a black side for this one here, but it does have kind of a funky color scheme. Let's just see here. White opposite yellow, which is pretty good. Red, pink, orange, purple. So I guess instead of blue and green, it has orange and purple. I don't know, I'll probably keep it like that for a little while because I don't have stickers right now to replace it, but that should be an interesting puzzle to solve once I get those stickers replaced, and even before. Just first turns here, it seems to turn very well, a little bit, I don't know, loose, flimsy, unstable, but other than that, I mean, it cuts 45 and it has a really unique, kind of high quality feel to it. So it'll be interesting to see how that sets up and breaks in. That is a new plastic Diane 2x2. Next up here, these are actually in better shape than I thought they'd be. Well, I won't say that I thought they'd be, but I really had no idea if these are going to be used, restickered, anything like that. And they're looking really nice straight out of the box because they are boxed. So next up here, I have a Z Cube glow in the dark 3x3. I saw this in pictures and I thought it'd be really interesting. I'll get a glow in the dark shot on screen here once I take that a little bit later, because I'm not actually sure if that's a green or a blue glow in the dark. But wow, first off, the shades on this thing are really neat. Has kind of a interesting textured silver on the bottom, gold on top, blue, red, green, orange, and blue, but they're all kind of in like a metallic and textured type. That is a really neat cube, more for the collection than anything else. I've actually been really impressed by Z cubes in the past. Just their mechanisms seem to be pretty high quality. They use like Moyu MF3RSs in some of their cubes. And I'm not exactly sure which one this is, but it does seem to be a speed cubing mechanism, and it definitely seems to turn very smoothly. So this could actually be speed cube, but like I said, I'll put a shot up on the screen of this glowing in the dark, because that is the main appeal of this cube, and also the sticker shades and things. I really do like that one though, it's pretty neat. I like to collect cubes like that. Next up here, we actually have a Chi Thunderclap V1. I've been meaning to get one of these for a little while. I have the V2 with the rounded off, or the squared off corners, so this actually has the rounded corners. And a lot of people actually use this as their main, and have said it's a really good cube, which is why I've wanted it. As you can hear, it's actually a pretty loud 3x3. But I think that's going to be a really interesting one. Let's just quickly test the corner cutting on there. It's about 45 out of the box. That's actually pretty impressive, which I'm not sure is quite out of the box. I mean, I'm sure it's had a few turns on it. But right out of the box, it is really nice and good at turning. I mean, it just has 45 degrees corner cutting. Not quite line to line reverse. But all in all, good cube. This is the Chi Thunderclap. Next up here, I guess I will leave that till last. Let's go into the Oolong version 2. I actually just got one of these in limited edition green, and I've been using that for a couple days. I really do like that cube, so this would be really neat to get an actual stickerless version of that to do some solves on. Straight out of the box here, it has the same kind of issue with the LE that I had before, where it's just a little bit, I don't know what you'd say, but the core probably needs a little bit of lubrication or something. I don't know, just it feels a little bit different than cubes I'm used to. I think also the 57mm is really interesting, which I think I actually like 57mm more, but it does feel a lot different than when you go from solving on the little magic, which is 55.5, to the 57 of the Oolong version 2. But this is a really good cube. As you can see, straight out of the box, wow, full corner cutting. straight out of the box. That's really impressive. And the stickler shades are really good. So actually, this is going to be a cube I'm really going to enjoy solving. It's not going to be my main or anything, but I do like to collect a little bit older speed cubes and speed cubes that are going out. And this falls under that category. I was just going to try a T-perm, although I'm learning all these algorithms. That's like a algorithm that a lot of people do in their videos. Yeah, I really suck at it. But anyway, that is the Along version 2. Next up here, we have the TCKyewbs 6x6, which this is an interesting puzzle. The only 6x6 I have right now is the Cyclone Boys G6 6x6, which that is a really good 6x6 for the money. It's at 6x6 plenty of times. But this is actually a good 6x6. From what I've heard, it's not magnetized, obviously, or anything like that. But this one really should be a lot better than that Cyclone Boys. And wow, out of the box, just the turning on this thing is a lot smoother and faster than the Cyclone Boys. It's a little bit sluggy compared to like the best 7x7s. And there's a quick pop. I have to try and get that piece back in there. I have heard good and bad things about this thing, really mixed reviews. This is the version 1 also, if I didn't mention that. But I think all in all, this is going to be a really good puzzle for my collection. I'm going to have to tighten it down a little bit just so it doesn't pop quite as much, because I do not like pops when I'm trying to solve them. But let's quickly get this piece back in here, and I'll go into some more turns. Okay, there you go. Got that piece back in there, and I'm just going to check the tensions here quick. It's definitely on very, very loose tensions right now, at least on the yellow and white sides, which that might be the problem of that pop there. But my first impressions are very, very impressive. And if I try to corner cut, it's also a bit loose. So I'm going to have to tighten that down a little bit. It just seems a little bit too loose. Right out of the box for my liking, at least for trying corner cutting and all that. But just, wow, that is going to be my new main 6x6 for sure. But secondly, it seems to be a pretty good 6x6. I'm definitely no speed 6x6 solver. Let's just try a quick checkerboard on there. Let's just see if I can do this here. I don't do a lot of checkerboards on 6x6, but I guess we'll see how this works out. And there you go. There is a 6x6 checkerboard looking very, very good. Not sure I'm a huge fan of the out-of-the-box shades. The blue is a little bit dark for my liking, but I think I can get used to it. And all in all, it seems like a very nice puzzle. Okay, well, I'm not really super used to these kind of shorter unboxings with very few cubes, but I do have one more here in a minute. Before that, I think I'm just going to do a quick solve of a couple of these cubes to fill in the time a little bit. Untimed hand scrambles, just to get a better feel for the puzzles. I'll give you any more opinions during that. This is actually, I believe, I was thinking this is in white plastic, but it's primary. I can't exactly tell. I'm pretty sure that it's just standard white plastic, but let's quickly get into solve here. I am not super fast at 2x2, but I average probably like, I don't know, 6 seconds most of the time. And there you go. The color scheme really doesn't seem to mess with me much. I'm seeming to be pretty adaptable in that respect. Let's just quickly scramble up the Along version 2 here and try that. Give that a try. I don't know my G-perms yet, but I've been learning full PLL and also a little bit of color neutral stuff. So all of this right now are definitely a little bit slower than some other times. But I think it should turn out pretty well here. Let's just go for it. Ready, set, and go. I'm pretty sure I put that in the wrong spot. Just flip those quick before I do that. Oh, I was putting cross edges wrong. I think it was because I was thinking about that other color scheme and I went to this one here. But turning on this, really, it feels like a little bit older cube. Like it doesn't flow quite the same as like a GAN cube or the Yushin Little Magic or any of the top, like modern top-end speed cubes. But the flow is something really unique. And of course, the 57mm size really makes it nice. So I really do like the feeling of vintage speed cubes, or at least, I mean, a couple-year-old speed cubes. About the same as the modern stuff. I mean, I can adapt to the turning styles and all that. So, all in all, it's a very nice cube, especially if you try to collect cubes. I would get an Along version 2. It really is a pretty famous one. Along version 1s are actually pretty neat too, and I'd like to get one of those. I have one of the mini size. So, having Along version 2 is neat. Next up here, we have this one, which I guess is scramble it up. So, let's quickly get into a solve. The Thunderclap, I have the version 2, like I said, and a lot of people actually went with this as their main when it first came out a few years back. So I was curious to try it out. It really has a clacky sound, which is the interest in the original model. And so far, I really don't see a inclination towards corner twists, which would be why the squared off corner design was adopted in the second version. So I'm not sure exactly why they went for that, but either way, this cube seems to turn very well. It actually seems a little bit on tight tensions, actually. Yeah, definitely pretty tight. But anyway, that seems to be a really good cube. And finally, the glow-in-the-dark one. This is actually going to be probably the most interesting solve just because it's going to be kind of funky, recognizing the color scheme and all that. But let's just try and see if I can do it. Silver on bottom. Ready, set, go. I'm just kind of going as I go here instead of using an inspection. So let's see here. Like I said with Z-Cubes really intrigue me. I mean, they have the carbon fiber stickered cubes, and don't they also have the magnetic cube? I think they have the Z-magnetic 3x3s, which are basically magnetized MF3 RSs. So they really have some interesting products, and I actually support them as a company. They used to make some really bad puzzles like the 2x2x3 tower that was pretty cheap, but now I think they're doing a lot better things. And I'm overall, all in all, very impressed by their puzzles. So that's a really neat one. I like how the logo's cut out of there. And I guess that's about it. I have one more puzzle here. I'm just going to go grab quick. It's actually like a bonus. This is actually from the cubicle.us, but this is the puzzle that was back-ordered. And if you see the box here, the box outline, it looks kind of strange. So let's quickly, if I can cut this open and get into it. I do gotta sharpen my knife here sometime or use a different one. But let's just open this up, rip into the packaging, and see what we have here. If I turn it around here and pull it straight out of the box, it's looking kind of strange, and as you can see, that is a clock, a Rubik's clock to be exact. And actually, it's not a Rubik's branded clock, but this is the puzzle, the Rubik's clock, or just the clock puzzle. And this one, I forget exactly who it's made, Ling, I believe. But as you can see, it has kind of a flip-up flap there, so you can see it. On the inside, it has some interesting artwork on there, and most of it's actually in Chinese, so I really can't read that. But let's, without further ado, get into there. Clock is really an interesting event, and it's one I've been wanting to try for a little while, so that's why I decided to pick this one up. I'm definitely not going to invest in a Rubik's clock before I really know if I like the event, so this one will be a good starting point. I've heard that has pros and cons, but there you go, instruction of the magic clock. That's kind of interesting there. It would be an interesting video to go through these instruction manuals and just kind of pick out the English. Some people like that, some people don't. I think it's pretty funny. The instruction of magic clock. That's kind of interesting. But let's zoom in here a little bit. As you can see, this is the puzzle. It has kind of interesting logo at the bottom there, which is mostly in Chinese, but has a little guy there. And the clock puzzle, as far as I know, it has these kind of wheels that turn. All of those there. And if I press down certain buttons, now only these are turning. This corner is not turning anymore, which let's see if I can reset that without messing it up. But it's a really interesting puzzle to solve. A lot of people are really quick at them. This one definitely feels a bit stiff out of the box, but that's probably just because it's not a super great clock. And actually, if I do two at the same time, it's a lot quicker. But all in all, I just wanted to try out one of these puzzles to see if it's one that I want to actually try and get good at. So that's it. Ling clock. Okay, well that's about it for this quick unboxing today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Pardon the background noise if there is any again. But if you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe below. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos, more reviews, more other cubing related videos in the future. KSKyewbs out. Goodbye.